Hello everyone, it is I, the real Randy Chavez. Before I start this video, I regret to inform you that Frank Kozik, one of Veve's favorite sons, artists, friends, and mentors community, has unfortunately passed away. And before I start this video, I would like to go and read something written by Sergio Rodriguez, or Sergio Collects on Twitter, if that's how you know him. On July 1st of 2021, when the Veve had just been around for a few months, Frank Kozik became the second independent artist to launch on the platform with his Labbit Series 1 collectibles. The popularity of his collection led to the subsequent Labbit Series 2 and 3 being dropped on the platform. Demand for his creation on the platform led to additional collections being dropped, such as his Labbitier collection and the D-Gen Dungeon art piece. Long before Veve, he was a pioneer in the art scene, working with musical talents such as Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Stone Temple Pilots. I think he actually worked with a band called the Butthole Surfers as well. Frank was quite a guy. He's been featured in amazing magazines such as Rolling Stone and is considered a pioneer in the design toy industry. He didn't need Veve. Veve needed him. And we're fortunate he took a leap of faith to share his talent with us. He has made a mark on the Veve community and has always stood behind us through thick and thin. Rest in peace, Frank Kozik. Your memory will live on forever on the blockchain and in our hearts. So, like normal videos, I will go over Omi first, and then we'll get into everything. And here's unfortunately why I cannot buy Omi over the next probably week or two, maybe 3 weeks. With the unfortunate passing of Frank, I had immediately gone and spent the gems and put in more money that I was supposed to save for Omi, but I spent those gems that I was saving for the Marvel Mighties. I had gone on and purchased a couple of Frank's works, and yeah, so $600 later, it's like, ooh, okay. So Omi, even though I think it's a really good buy right now, obviously this is not financial advice, I had gone on and it's only for 591,000 in volume, down about 1.2% to about 00058 on the day over the last 24 hours. If you go and you take a look of the how do you feel about Okomi today, vote to see the community's results, and you could either have the option of good or bad. I mean, I think there's a bunch of stuff coming around the corner. So I voted good, but only 59% of the community agree with me. The other 41% think it is bad. Normally, Omi doesn't move unless that ticker is like 75% and above for good. So yeah, unfortunately, no Omi for a little while. I will stay at 168 at the current level for quite a while, and I don't know how much of the Marvel Mighties I'm going to get either. I actually had a dream about them last night. Anyway, we do have a couple of other things that were going on in the market. Luke Skywalker had risen about another 15% to get to $69 per collectible. At least that's on the rare, but everyone comment nice down below for the 69. And if you go and take a look at that, again, compared to any other collectible, and him being animated as well, I still think he's very undervalued. Now, be advised, I do have a Luke Skywalker collectible, so I'm not trying to necessarily pump my bag. It's just that's why I bought one. Now, that being said, I didn't really have enough for the, or I say I didn't have enough for the ultra rare or the secret rare. At the time, I probably could have, especially the ultra rare now. I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to talk about the sub 100s. I think the sub 100s are a little more special on the rare Luke, just because he has, and I don't have a sub 100 on him, but just because there is a lot more of him, so the sub 100s are really special. For the other ones, for the ultra rare and the secret rare, there are no 4-digit Luke Skywalkers. Every single thing that you get is a 3-digit. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. You're already getting that. So a 2-digit isn't really that much difference. But for the rare, however, where you have 4 digits there, you have 3 digits, and you have 2 digits, the 2 digits definitely become a lot more special. You can get one for about 5x the price, less than 5x. Number 94 is $299. So that's about $300 for that. And if you really wanted to go crazy and get a sub 50, you could do that for $800, number 49, or spend that extra $189 to go and get the number 42. Again, I think those are a little more special, but the other ones have been rising quite a bit. The ultra rares doubled in like a day, more than doubled, from like 122, went up to 279. And again, if you take a look at the sub 100s on there, the cheapest one that you could get is number 64 for $500 or $499.99. And the cheapest sub 100 is not even is $1,000. That's the cheapest sub 100. But again, that one is because you have like 1,000 of them. They're really, really rare. The secret rare obviously being the most scarce. So that one's up to 1,200 for the floor, but you can get a sub 100 for 1,570. So that one, you don't have to double it. You don't even have to increase it by 50%. It's like an increase of like 35%, 37%, and then you can get a sub 100 for that. That being said, there are a lot more of his sub 100s that are posted for sale, and I think the reason for that is just because, again, it's not as special. Again, is it super special? Yeah, absolutely. It's a Luke Skywalker secret rare. I think that all of those collectibles are in general undervalued. You see a lot of money going to, cream rises to the top, and the rising tide of EV will raise all ships. I think you're going to have a whole bunch of EV collectibles start to rise in Q3 or whatever. We get OMI to NFT. People get found money. They're going to go and get. They're going to spend a lot. Obviously, there could be other Grails that could pop up. Between now and then, there could be other artworks. There could be other licenses that get announced, and maybe some people don't care about Luke anymore. I doubt that. I mean, everyone's always going to care about Luke, but you might have some people that flip out of Luke like, hey, listen, I bought the secret rare for $700. It's $4,000 now. Might as well. And I feel like people can do that, and that's fine. But eventually, slowly but surely, all the real collectors will actually get it. They'll hold it, and you're gonna have a couple of people that's like, no, this is going to my kid. They're not, and they're not going to sell. Speaking of secret rares, we have Oscar Del Rio saying sacrifices were made. Thank you all to help me make this possible. # Holy Grail of Veve. Happened to show off his second secret rare Spider-Man. Those things are super scarce. And super coveted, and they're what, like less than $6,000. For a long time, I had really said, oh hey, that secret rare Spider-Man collectible is like will be the highest Grail on the app forever and always. And although you could have some comics that could outperform, I mean, you have Miles that's technically outperforming, but the Miles is a lot scarcer, so that's why you're really seeing that really big uptick, that really big squeeze on him. The market cap obviously belongs to Peter Parker, that's Spider-Man. But I really do think that partner statue will I'm starting to think that's going to outperform almost every other thing on this app. Just because, again, there is no cheaper option for that, like there is the Peter Parker Spider-Man. If you don't like the super secret rare animated, you can get the ultra rare, which is also animated. If you don't need it animated, again, the partner statue is not animated. You can get the other ones. There's so many other types of Spider-Man on here. So, take your pick. That being said, on the markets, I do have to address this. All of Frank Kozik's work had, I don't know, some doubled, some tripled, some had gone, really, really high last night. Because, and again, the economic side of this, when an artist dies, you've seen it discussed on iCarly, you've seen it discussed in many other things. The value goes through the roof. I'm sure it's been in many cartoons in our lifetime. Again, I'm just remembering from iCarly. And then you have people that might not know. This was a really big thing on Twitter and Facebook last night. So to be just trying to view this from an outsider's point of view, trying to take away some of the emotions out of it. You could have people that had bought Frank Kozik's works that maybe are not on Twitter, they're not on social media, but they're just perusing the market, and then they say, "Oh, wow, this is going to the moon. I'm going to list my stuff." You could have that. Just they want to take profit, and they don't know what's going on. They didn't learn of his untimely passing, and then you could say, "Okay, well, you can't really be mad at that." And you could have some people that maybe don't think before they act, and they're like, oh my God, he just passed away. Let me go and sell into it, just make some money. And then maybe after someone talking to them, like, oh, okay, that's probably not the classiest thing to do. Let me take that off. Which I think is fine. And then you have some people that are just like that are. I won't mention this dude's name. Person that literally bought. And again, I won't even say the number because you could figure it out from the low mint comic feeds. Like, oh, I don't really like low mints. I like this number. So let me go and show you this low mint that I bought literally 20 minutes prior. It was on the low mint Veve feed, and then try to make it so that it's like for Frank Kozik, and then they misspelled Frank Kozik's name. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't really have respect for those people. But there's such like this knee jerk reaction where a lot of people are like, oh, if you're selling right now, you're a bad, horrible person, and it's like, okay, well, what makes them a horrible person for selling? Okay, well, if you try to put yourself in that situation and you say, okay, well, if I had, you know, unfortunately, not, let's say if I had unfortunately passed away, would I be mad if people were selling Dashi collectibles or Randy Chavez collectibles? And if I think about it, I mean, if it's my friends and they're just like, oh, hey, we had to put up with Chavez's stuff for a long time, we're gonna make some money. Yeah, sure, why not? If it's somebody that maybe never liked me or doing whatever, and then they're trying to make money by claiming they were friends with me, yeah, I'd be a little salty about that, but what am I gonna do? Um, I feel like with the passing of a loved one, with the passing of someone that affected a lot of people's lives on Veve, you I don't know, it should bring people together. And then unfortunately people that maybe have a different mindset, that maybe their brain works differently, or maybe they, just like, hey, times are hard and I just want to make a little bit of money. I understand that. I don't think a lot of these people, I think most of these people just, oh, hey, here's an opportunity to make money. I don't think it was ill will. I think it was just people like, oh, hey, opportunity to make money. That being said, like I said earlier in this video, I rushed to buy some of this stuff because I wanted it. I know that this is history. With some of his, well, with all of his collectibles. I mean, like, there's no more of his stuff that's going to be made. I mean, you might have a couple of things that, hey, here's some unfinished artwork. Here's something that maybe him and Veve were working on, and they'll, release that. It's like, okay, this is the final product. Like, again, we have no idea. But for the most part, there's really not going to be any new product stuff on Veve that's going to be made, unless, again, they do some type of drop that way. Why is Neo Destiny so special in the Pokemon series? That whole set, because it's the last time they had first edition on there. There's since that Neo Destiny set in the early 2000s, there's been no other set in Pokemon that have had first edition on them. That was the last one. And I knew that, okay, I want these pieces, and I don't have some of these pieces because some of them are pretty expensive. So I rushed to buy. Now, I didn't do that just immediately so I could sell. You see a couple people on there that was like, oh, hey, let me go and floor all of these. Like, that maybe doesn't look so good. But again, I think a lot of these should be like the kind of the great uniter. Hey, like, I don't know. Again, that's just me. Anyway, we do have a couple of updates, some from David, some from Veve, some very nice words about Frank. Veve, which I think was written by Alex, says, all of us at Veve are devastated to learn of the passing of Frank Kozik, an absolute giant in the art, toy, and rock and roll worlds. From his work creating iconic gig posters to his delightfully irreverent world building with Labbits, Frank's work is some of the earliest and most beloved on our platform. We will cherish our time with him at last year's DesignerCon in Anaheim, and hope those of you who got to meet him will as well. Our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time. Also, speaking of which, if you go and you take a look at the actual update from his account, they had just said, I wouldn't really message it or anything for whoever runs their account. They said more info on the memorial service will come soon. For now, we ask you to please respect our privacy during these trying times. With love, Sharon and the cats. So yeah, I know people are curious. Oh, hey, when's it gonna be? Can I go? Again, they'll release something soon. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. I mean, not all of Frank's fans were on this site, or not on the app. In fact, I'm probably going to say that most of his fans were not on this app. A lot of people, there were some people that knew who he was, like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can collect it. I feel like a lot of us, like me, didn't really, maybe we had seen some of Frank's artwork before, not known it was Frank's artwork, and just kind of fell in love with him through the app. And then obviously I got a chance to meet him, got a chance to think we were friends. Again, as most people learn that knew him and I love him, about this and they find, oh, hey, here's some works that I never owned. Here's some works that I never knew about. And they go on and they're going to want it. So I do have more on David that I have to go and talk about, but I do want to, and I'll read his post from Instagram, but I do want to go and take a look at Frank's Instagram real quick. Again, 59,000 followers. How many of those followers are from Veve? I don't know. Yeah, probably maybe a couple thousand. How many of them were his fans that he's built over decades? Probably a good amount. So yeah, if you wanted to go and buy some of those, I would say now is the time. Again, I got a little emotional and I disregarded any want I had for the Marvel Mighties. I disregarded any want I had for more Omi, and I bought some of those things. And I mean, how many people are going to be exactly like me? That's like, okay, hey, I love Frank's work for a really long time. I'm going to buy some of his stuff before it gets too expensive. I mean, probably a decent amount of people. So obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what happens to the price in the future. But yeah, that's some of his last stuff that you're going to get. People are probably going to want that. So I definitely see that going up in the future. David beautifully writes on his Instagram, I'm saddened to learn the passing of one of the great modern pop artists and true pioneer in the vinyl toy market during the 90s. Frank worked with almost every good rock band with loud drums and guitars, drawing album covers to concert posters. It has been a highlight in my career to be working with. Thank you, Frank, the GOAT, forever. Veve fam will be missing you. Comment down below your favorite artwork of his. I mean, I feel like his most popular was probably that white backstab labbit. And that was, again, super scarce, 888 editions. I happened to go and get his crossover, his Veve robot labbit. That was the airdrop. I'll show you guys real quick. So here's like the robot ones. So it's weird that you can't see the airdrop in this one, even though there's 5 of them. You could only get that airdrop if you collected all of them. And then the actual airdrop, it looks pretty similar to the common, except that it is a Veve. It's even called the Veve. It has the number 5 on it. But being called that, I thought that was really cool. It's a crossover, so I got one of those. That also is super, super scarce. I think 325 mints. 320 mints. And one of the other ones I think was the scarcest was his D-Gen Dungeon poster art. And that one was, actually I can show you right now. That one is, $1,800. There is 15 of them on the market, so there's not a ton. Here's what it looked like. You could actually get a shirt with this on it. It was at Decon, I believe. You could have gotten this. I forget how much it was at that point, but you could have got him to sign it. That would have been really cool to get. And there are only 150 of those. So yeah, these are super scarce. As people buy them, I'm pretty sure these are going to be locked up because, again, like if you sell right now, you're probably not going to get it back for the same price. Probably going to be quite up there. But again, I really want to reiterate. I feel like this should all kind of bring us together. I feel like we shouldn't really have a lot of this hate for the people that are maybe selling. And like I said, I'm not going to sell just because, again, here's a friend. But for others that do, I feel like we have to have a little empathy. Anyway, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye, Dashie. Bye-bye, Dashie. And also comment down below your favorite memory of Frank if you happen to meet him. I think that'd be fun. Bye, guys.